all set. Stand by.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up?
Holy, you're slow.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Snowman in the Morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's driven deep to left center field. Gardner is going back. Looking up. See you later. See you later. Astros headed back to the World Series. Jose Altuve, a walk-off two-run homer. And the Astros beat the Yankees 6-4. Win the ALCS 4-2.
Man, I got a lot on the brain this morning. I tried another program to run the program and it didn't work. So you know what? I said, screw it. I'll take the extra time to get everything together. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the latest and the greatest, this Tripped Out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Coming to you live from Columbus, Indiana, as well as Tennessee. Cole Johnson is with me. And Cole, if you will allow me, I'm going to dive right in, and we're not even going to start with sports this morning. I'm going to open, if you'll allow me, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to open with a subject you and I have talked about off the air, and now I feel it needs to be discussed on the air. And to do that, I'm gonna do this. While I get all the buttons pushed, like I said, I had to restart everything. Now I'm gonna do this.
It's time to go.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to give me hell for this. As I said yesterday, I know I'm going to catch hell for what I'm about to say, but I don't care. I feel like speaking my truth, as my friend Stacy would tell me, and as my wife would tell me often. And I know I'm going to be venturing into very dangerous territory given the color of my skin and the color of my partner's skin, but I don't care. I have a simple sentence, and you've heard me say this before, partner. Support black businesses? My ass.
Oh, you firing shots early.
I'm firing howitzers. Okay? I'm firing howitzers early. Now, a lot of people are going to be wondering, Snowman, why are you leading with that, especially when you're running late this morning? I will tell you why. I've only voiced this in private between Cole and myself and my wife, and my good friend Michael Lyle, who I plan to get back on the program very soon. It'll be via tape delay, but I plan to have him on. Why am I firing this shot? Because for years, I have been told by black people that I need to support black businesses. I have a question in kind. Where's the support in return? Can I preach for a while, Cole? Can I preach?
Go ahead, bro.
Where's the support in return? I echo the words of one Jay-Z. I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. Where's the support from me and Cole? I told you, I've spoken about this to him off the air. Now I'm speaking it live on the air. And I don't care what kind of hell I catch. I've been asking for sponsors for this show for the 8 years I've been on the air. And thought, my initial thought, if I reach out to the community, they will support me because I've been told for years that I would be celebrated if I ran my own business. I've been doing that since I was 17. Cole, rid me this. Where's the support in return?
Yeah, it's amazing that we were sold the bill of goods of, if you represent our people, then you'll definitely get the love.
Bullshit.
The problem that I have foreseen is that when you engender that support for them, they take it and run with it.
Say that again, please. Say that again, please.
When you actually engender support for others, you reach out and you say, you know what, I'm going to support you because I believe in you and your dream.
Mm-hmm.
They will take that support and they'll run with it. And when I say run with it, I don't mean in the positive sense. I mean, they'll run with it, meaning running away from you, run with it.
Yep. Now, I've met a couple of YouTubers very recently who go by the IDs of Accountable Commentary and Bunker TV, and they gladly support me. That kind of support I love. Okay? When I'm asked to build something and I would get something built in return and I feel the positive energy, that I'll take.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be about.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to build a community. Oh, yeah, we have said this
Would
before.
you say that again? You're supposed to build a what?
You're supposed to build a community.
Why don't people do that anymore? Why don't black people do that anymore? I know this is a sports program, but let's get real here. Let's just get all the way real, okay? And I am I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a diabetes advocate. I'm damn sure a cancer advocate because it took both my parents and plenty of my friends and plenty of parts of my family. I'm also an advocate of being real. I'm also an advocate of being honest. And I know I'm going to be told many times over, you just have to look for it. That's bullshit.
Okay.
I looked for it. I've looked for it. For 20 plus years as a broadcaster, building my own company. Believe me, I've looked for it. Have I gotten a few black sponsors before? Yes, I have. And to those I say thank you. But there is one word that causes ill among black people. You know what that word is? Consistency. Have I failed in the past because of my own lack of consistency? You're doggone right I have. I have. I've never been shy in admitting as such. But I'll be doggone if I continue to let this go silent and not speak out on it and not be afraid to speak out on it. Why am I no longer afraid to speak out on it? Because doggone it, I'm sick and tired of it happening to black men that try their best, that try their damnedest to get their business together, only to be pulled into the to the barrel of crabs where most want to see us go. And I'm tired. I know for a fact Cole's tired. We talked about this off the air. And Cole, I'm going to give you the floor to continue this for a few minutes. Go with it.
All right. You know what's appalling? I got a chance to witness how life is,
Mm-hmm.
in the hood, because my father wanted me to understand that I should be proud of my culture, even when it doesn't look as though it's in favorable conditions for my culture.
Yep.
So that when I get into a place of affluence, I won't look down upon them and just say, well, they're nothing and they're nobody.
Absolutely.
Because they live here.
Yep.
So you see, this has been in me since birth.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud to be black, and I'm proud to be a man, and I'm proud to be in America. However,
Echoed.
I also am proud to be intelligent. And what I am seeing is an attack on certain individuals that don't look the part, that don't sound the part, that don't speak the part, that ain't down when stuff is not on fleek.
Yep.
I know these are outdated references. I'm saying that on purpose. Something, no cap. Yeah, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly how it is.
And because I don't come in the package of singing like a Stuart Scott, and believe you and me, my partner and I share an admiration for the late and great Stuart Scott. And you know why we do? Not because he came with the colloquialism that we both understood because we grew up in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
being around people who spoke the way that Stuart Scott would speak, the lingo that he spoke, and the
Mm-hmm.
swag that he carried himself with. That's not it. But I appreciate it as well. It was knowing how intelligent this man was,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that part of him was an extension of his real self.
Yeah. And Stuart Scott's from my hometown.
Yeah.
Stuart Scott's from both of my home states. What do I mean? He was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, attended the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And y'all, and people already know what an affinity I have for the state of North Carolina.
All right. So the fact that we don't wear skinny jeans,
right,
and we don't have hats to the side, and we don't sip lean,
mm-hmm.
and we don't sound like Amigos member. It does not mean that one, we're less black,
right,
two, we're less innovative,
mm-hmm.
and three, less hungry. Because we're just all those things, but you embrace that because you embrace things that look and sound and speak like what you think.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone like Brian or myself were to come upon the scene, we get, and stop me if I'm off base when I say these things, we get called things such as Uncle Tom.
Keep going.
Things such as sellout.
Keep going.
Things such as you are a white man trapped in a black man's body.
Oh, I hate that one. Keep going.
Oh, well, things such as sympathizer to the colonizer. I mean, I could go on. I can go on and on. Fact of the matter is, support goes both ways. Brian knows and I know the culture in which we grew up in and we celebrate currently
Yeah.
It's a huge, huge pool. Black people are not a monolith.
Nope.
What is scary and hard to swallow and hard to stomach and difficult to ascertain and wrap my brain around
Mm-hmm.
is that you all know that our culture is not a monolith, but you act as though it is. And you move and operate like it is. That is what I find disappointing about all this because I can go to many places and say, look, I do this, I do this, I do this, and not just with cold sports for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have opened many different businesses, and the law of diminishing returns based on my skin color, based on the verbal intellect that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and based on the fact that I'm not a brand name, scares you all. Let's be real. There's a black poet. His name is Black Ice, and he spits something so real when he said that our culture are external is a bunch of external blingers.
Mm-hmm. No argument here.
Now I understand, and he came from the aspect of saying the system forced us to become external blingers,
Mm-hmm.
and he is correct.
He certainly is.
But we allow ourselves to stay and be stuck in being external blingers because we want to deny so hard the fact that inside of us we bling just as hard, if not harder, than what is on the outside.
Yep. Yep.
I will close this portion with this. I was in the hip hop game a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in studio with a young rapper in Houston, and he spit a bar that was so cold it still stays with me today. And he said, "Quote." He said, "You can dress a turd in a tux, but it's still a piece of close quote.
No argument here.
No matter how you dress up, be down for the brown or back the black, all you want. It's all about self. It's basically I'll put this in a sports analogy. It is like how we see basketball today.
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing but ISO players almost on every single team that we watch in the pros and in college and even in high school.
Mm-hmm.
This one also comes from this gem actually comes from Brian Gumble, and I love it. When he talked about how basketball was in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he said, man, the basketball basically was, I'm getting mine, yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And if you do not want to support me, I will divorce myself from Brian with this final statement I will put forth right here. If you all do not want to support me because of what I just said, good. Because I learned a long time ago, I'm not for everybody. I don't want to be for everybody.
Same.
I want to be for those who love the real me and love all of the real me. If you can't handle that, I don't need you.
Period. Why did I open with this subject this morning? Because it sat on my heart for the longest time. It did. It sat on my heart for the longest time, and I've only said it in private circles. You know, when I met my friend Stacy a few days ago, she said the phrase, speaking her truth. Well, you know what, doggone it, since then, I've been doing that a lot more. It's something my wife encourages me to do every day. Keep the positive vibes coming. If you don't like me because I'm not, quote, down for the cause, unquote, if you don't like me because I'm different, if you don't like me because my voice sounds like Jim Durham, Vin Scully, Jack Buck, and others, see you later, alligator. Don't let the doorknob hit you in the ass on the way out.
Oh, well.
Oh, thee well. How's that for an opening?
And I still love you, black people. I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
I do. I do. Now, I'm willing to bet you that we're going to catch a lot of hell for this, but it's going to go right over their heads. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to go right over their heads. And I can't wait for it to.
Mm-hmm.
I love being a black man. It's the way I was born, the way I was raised. It's the way I'll be when I go 6 feet after I turn 105. It's the way I always will be.
Darn right.
But dadgummit, some things have got to change. I'll say it again. Some things have got to change. And y'all know I get looked at funny because of who I married. I get looked at funny because of who I married. We went through it for 2 years living in North Carolina. Well, guess what? She is still my wife. I love her even more now because of the struggle we're going through together. Oh, since it is Black History Month, and since I decided to fire shots saying, you know, Black history is made every day, you're going to see me make an adjustment with my camera here for those of you watching. I am a fan of the legendary Morgan Freeman. And one of my favorite movies that he did was Stand By Me in 1989.
Love that movie.
I use this quote to inspire my wife and anyone, regardless of color, race, or creed, every day. Quote, we sink, we swim, we rise, we fall, we meet our fate together.
Mm.
Can I get a witness? I'll say it. I'll say it again for those of you that have hitched your wagon to this star or to this pair of stars and are along for the ride. We sink, we swim, we rise, we fall, we meet our fate together. Period. I may have been late this morning, but I wasn't going on until I got everything straight with the program I was using. And with the seeking of advertisers and sponsors, and we got our first one, Michael Scott Insurance. I didn't open with that, so let me say we're presented in part by Michael Scott Insurance. For those of you in the state of Michigan, give them a call at 810-985-3211. And we are proudly on Real Wise Radio, Arena Sportsnet, and the On Tap Podcast Network. So to people who think that this is all going to be done in vain, I feel sorry for you.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going all the way there.
And for those who actually said those things to Brian and to me, understand something. This isn't because of you that we're doing this. The byproduct is our success will prove you to be a liar. That's the byproduct.
Every day.
But that's not the primary motivation because that hate is channeled in love.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means you think that I'm meant to be doing something great and special. Same with Brian. For you to take out your time to say something negative, to try to drown or try to suck positive energy out of the two of us, all I gotta say to that is thank you. Thank you for giving us the time in your mind. Thank you for having us rent space in your brain and your heart for free.
Mm-hmm. Without even trying.
Without even trying.
Without even trying. We weren't even
And
trying to live rent free in your head,
right.
and you let us there anyway.
Mm-hmm. And I love you for that. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. We love y'all for that. But man, speaking that aloud has motivated me. Has truly motivated me.
Yeah.
Because I've said it often and I will continue to say it. Sometimes you just get tired.
No, it was like what Mystical said one time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Sick and tired.
He was right.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get Cool McCain on the line,
All right.
I was challenged yesterday.
Oh, how?
A fella named Trey Larkins messaged me.
Okay, so this is a good challenge. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Okay.
Yesterday, when you were in a meeting, I kind of said something that pissed people off.
You kind of said something. Okay.
Oh, I said it out loud.
Okay. What was the something that agitated those who were listening?
LeBron James is not a top 75.
Whoa! Like I said, you find some hardcore shots. Okay.
And
Look.
to my buddy Trey Larkins, he messaged me and said, quote, and I'm being totally serious when I say this, he said, quote, "You're not serious, are you?" My response, "You damn right I'm serious." Let me repeat that part of the conversation. Let me repeat that part of the conversation. Trey Larkins, I love you dearly, brother. I love you. You know I love picking on you. But I believe this with my heart. When I said LeBron James is not top 75, I did not bite my tongue. I didn't stutter. I stand firm. He gave his top 3 players, MJ, Kobe, and LBJ. I said MJ, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Magic Johnson. And I can interchange that with Larry Bird, James Worthy, and quite a few more.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have the cool cat on the line, I'm doubling down with my statement. Now, I want you
I
gentlemen
need to get some popcorn.
Yeah, Mr. McCain, I know danger is your business, but you better get your popcorn. And I didn't make this introduction. I better make this introduction correct. Of the Play Callers Sports Talk Show that you can hear and see on Friday nights. Fabulous show with Stephen Box. It's Cool McCain, the cool cat, joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Cool.
Got your popcorn ready?
Always.
All right.
I pop it up before I come on.
Good.
All right. I hear that, brother.
Because I'm not only going to double down on my statement, I'm going to triple down on my statement.
LeBron not top 75. Okay.
Hell, LeBron's not even top 100.
Wow. All right.
I'm not dropping bunts.
Now, I know how your brain works. So why would you come up with the statement that LeBron is not 100, not even in the top 100 in the greatest players in the pantheon of NBA history?
It's three pretty simple words. I've seen better overall and at his position. Let me say that again. I've seen better overall and at his position. It's like I said, I know I'm going to catch hell for some of the stuff I say, but I'm going to turn 50 this summer. I'm going to beat cancer. I'm going to beat type 2 diabetes. And since I started stepping into my truth, especially after I met my wife, I simply have run out of fucks to give. Now, people are going to say, how can you say that about LeBron? Well, it's pretty simple. I'll use one of his contemporaries. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the form of a question that I asked yesterday after Cole departed to step into a meeting. It goes like this. Where's the impact? A Pizzle 90 joining us on YouTube goes MJ, Magic, and Bird. No argument here.
You get zero out of me on that.
No argument here.
Zero.
As you said when I was coming on, there's probably a good 10 or so people with MJB included in the mix, but you can kind of alternate the other two, and you really can't argue. And personally speaking, I don't think LeBron is in that the top 10 thing. When you say, I just have one question. When you say his position, do you mean his actual sometime position of small forward or point guard or center or just, you know?
Yeah, another part-time player just like Kyrie. Oh, did I throw that out there?
LeBron, a part-time player.
Let's see.
I got a bunch of LeBron sexuals that just became upset with y'all because they heard the negative ringing in the ears and they know it came from y'all.
And I'm supposed to give a flying why?
You clearly don't, and there's no reason for you to. I just want to point it out.
I love that you do. I love that I love that you do.
Thank you for warming my heart, bro.
Same.
That just made my day.
Same.
No problem.
I mean, you know what? I've become very familiar with a popular YouTuber who goes by the name of Urinating Tree, which describes most of society today, and I'll go no further. He said it when he did a Cleveland Browns video. It's three simple words for me. Zero given. None.
Yeah.
Zero, zip, zilch, nada, nothing. Matter of fact, I'm going to find this conversation. You know, and he was supposed to go live yesterday and challenge me. He never did. I took a nap, woke up. I purposely turned my phone on. For those of you who know me, since I've been battling this cancer, my sleep habits have been horrid. Horrid. My sleep schedule has been backwards.
I can understand that.
My sleep schedule has been absolutely backwards. 8 hours of sleep? What the hell is that? And I mean that kiddingly because my wife's been getting on me about sleeping.
She should.
Yeah.
She does. She does, and I love her for that.
Yeah, smart woman.
But Trey was supposed to go live yesterday on Facebook, tag me, and my alerts were on when I took a nap. Me and the dog went in the bedroom and took a nap. I woke up, not one notification. So, Trey Larkins, I love your brother dearly, but I'm calling your ass out. Why? You were supposed. Well, you know what? I'll back off. For the simplest of reasons, he does have a job, and he may have been working yesterday.
See?
So
There you
that
go.
I will allow. I'll allow that. He's got 2 children to support. I'll allow that. But I'm still calling your ass out. Am I doing this in fun? Yes. Am I having fun with this? Yes. Am I doubling down on my statement? Damn right. LeBron doesn't belong. And the best part is, who got the loudest cheers Sunday night when the
In
75 greatest in Cleveland? Who got the loudest cheer in Cleveland when the 75 greatest were introduced?
Oh, it was the last player who got introduced.
Yep. Brent Musburger made a call during the 1989 East Finals Game 1. Grant missed the jump shot. And Musburger says, quote, long rebound to Craig Hodges, and here's the king. Close quote. Oh, you didn't hear that? Let me say it again. Long rebound by Craig Hodges, and here's the king.
And for you bronzexuals, LeBron was 14 years removed from that moment. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Continue, sir.
Oh, you know what? Oh, hell. I got Chris Dietz coming at 9:05. Mr. McCain, you may need to stick around, but oh, hell. I gotta.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
So LeBron's top 75, huh? Where? How? Since when? Now I know people are going to tell since the list has been released. Yeah, it's kind of not hard to put someone on the top 75 when he's been shoved down our throat and up our asses since 2002. And since 2002, I ain't seen much evolution in his game. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to sound black. Let me try that again. I haven't seen much evolution in his game. And this is to present day. You know why he's going to hold every record? Because he's played 19 years. I made a statement on this program that made Cole laugh out loud. It's going to make Cool McCain smile from ear to ear, and it's going to piss off a lot of bronzexuals. And it goes like this. Michael Jordan has had a bigger impact in 13 and a half seasons than LeBron has had in 18 and a half seasons.
Well, ain't nothing to dispute on that one.
By the way, that smile is there.
Yes. Ain't nothing to dispute there because you 100% on the money on that.
I will say it again for the church. And yes, I'm about to preach. Michael Jordan has had a bigger impact in 13 and a half seasons than LeBron has had in 18 and a half seasons. And of course, the worst kept secret came out that LeBron's last year is going to be played with his son. Hell, we've known that for like 5 years.
Yeah, he knew that
That's
before he was a
worst-
Laker.
Supposed to be a surprise.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst kept. That's the worst kept secret.
We knew that before he was going to be a Laker.
That's the worst kept secret. Everybody knew that. Why do you think he moved to Los Angeles? It wasn't because of a great sales pitch by the Lakers. It was a fact of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's the de facto GM of the Los Angeles Lakers?
Oh, but you know, something according to Clutch Sports, those moves were not made with his approval.
And I'm supposed to be surprised. Why?
Those moves were not made with his approval.
Again,
That's the story, and they're sticking to it.
That's the story that Rich Paul has told his team to funnel out there.
Mm-hmm.
that those moves were not made with.
The consent of
LeBron.
Mr. James.
Well, I mean, you had Carmelo Anthony who said that, quote, you the GM, close quote, when he was referred to as LeBron, not Rob Pelinka. So I guess you might be right, Cole.
I mean, gentlemen, I've said this on this program, and I will continue to say it. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are in their positions in name only.
I agree.
But I will say this. Having them not make a move, people were trying to get on Jeannie's and Rob's head for that. But in my estimation and opinion, the reason why they stood pat was they looked at the GM of the team and said, you wanted this mess. Work it out. And I'm 100% good with that.
I actually do agree with that statement 100%, Cole.
Yep.
I mean, you want to go get the thing.
You got us into it. It's pretty simple. You got us into this. Get us out of it.
Because how could you not be the driving force behind Russell Westbrook trade? Like, how could you not be? How could you not?
He was sitting on the end of
that you were the driving force.
He was sitting on the end of the bench drinking wine. Oh, did I say that? Did I say that aloud? He was sitting on the end. He was sitting on the end of the bench, not moving.
And I'm still looking for that energy he had 6 months ago when he tweeted, for those of you who say that we're too old, say that we don't have enough jump shooters, say that we're not going to succeed, just keep this as an understanding. Keep that same energy when it comes to be later in the season. Well, that was 6 months ago, Mr. James. Then I knew when people said that your team was going to go 70-12, and yes, I heard that ridiculousness on TV.
Yeah,
on TV. Not with Bron.
That was crazy.
Not
with bronsexuals, not with Lakers fan, sports analysts who get paid 7 and 8 figures a year pump this crap out in saying that they were going to be 70-12 this year.
And who was the leader in that bunch? Kendrick freaking Perkins.
Oh, you getting to where I was about to go next.
Boy,
because you had one. because you had one of them. Yeah. Cool. I'm with you on that, bro. Because you had one of them say, quote, the Lakers have 6 Hall of Famers on the squad.
Where?
Close quote.
Where? That's my response. Where?
I'm like, how good is a Hall of Fame squad that you call them Hall of Fame when 5 of the 6 are too old to do the job?
Braun included. Braun included.
And the 6th, unfortunately, is the NBA's version of Mr. Glass. I don't understand this, man. I don't.
I hate to say this, but Anthony Davis signed his death warrant when he didn't go home.
I'm sorry, his death warrant.
He
Well, I'll tell
signed his
y'all.
death warrant as a basketball player when he did not go home.
I tell y'all all
What's
the
up?
time. Anthony Davis was following the money.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis knows
Yeah.
that he's Mr. Glass. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any part of him that's like, oh, after this I'm gonna be good. He knows what it is. He
Yeah,
said,
he
y'all want
knows.
to pay me?
He knows.
I will stay here and get paid. Because even if I'm hurt every year, I'm still getting my money.
Which took
Oh
the
my
competitive spirit out of it.
Oh, Cole McCain, get out of my brain, man.
Mhm.
Get out of my brain.
See,
Oh
that's-
my gosh, bro. You were kicking mad
See,
facts. Yes.
that's AD stayed where the
Yes.
money is, so he can sit his ass on the bench, and I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet for the remainder of the season, paging Kemba Walker, paging LeBron James. You got them into this shit. You get them out of it. Forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again. You got them into this mess. You get them out of it. Because frankly, you can't. Playoff mode, my ass.
You know, I'm still seeing articles saying, "Oh, you know, if the Lakers make it into the playoffs,
If
everybody better be aware because LeBron James in the playoffs." I'm like, look, not taking away from what the man's done, but
Right.
as you just so eloquently said, there's a age factor, and then there's also the fact that you will not allow your best player to cook on a regular basis, and he's not so far a future Hall of Famer,
how
but
many
he
times
is the
have
best player on your team.
Yep. How many times have I said that, gentlemen? How many times have I posed that question?
I've heard it quite a few myself.
Mr. Johnson, how many times have I posed that question on a regular basis?
The question I have to ask is, when did you not pose that question?
And there you go.
And there it is. Oh, a bronze sexual just got back to me.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Original
Surprise.
post reads, Larry Bird is better than LeBron James. Now I'm bringing a real
Yes, he
debate
is.
to this group.
Yes, he is.
So I had to jump all over that.
So Brian had a conversation with a bronze sexual.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a bronze sexual who wasn't thinking. And I said, LBJ isn't that good of a player anyway. Next. This bronze sexual had steam coming out of his ears when he said, as if you know how to play basketball. See, when these bronze sexuals get triggered, they use insults.
They try to use insults.
Try being the operative word.
Yes, sir.
My response was simple. Don't need to know how to play basketball, but I've watched enough and called enough games to know he isn't good.
At least with fundamentals, he's not.
He never was. His son is better with fundamentals than he is. Unfortunately, his son also has his dad's travel mode. Oops. I'm just hoping Bronny grows out of it.
Are you
That's what I'll
saying that?
say.
Are you saying that Bronny is going to be worse or just as bad as James Harden? Oh, good
Hell
Lord, I can't
yes.
Say that out loud. Not bad.
No, I'll say it aloud. I'll say it aloud.
I hope for that young man.
I'm hoping not.
Yeah.
I am truly hoping not.
Fools take it 4 and 5 steps before they take they take a shot.
What kind of mess is that? What kind of mess is that? So, bronsexuals, please listen to me. And I know a lot of you bronsexuals are gonna classify this as, quote, only one man's opinion. But there are 3 men on here. 3.
And bronsexuals, tone down the slobber. We can hear you all the way from here.
Yeah, get his member out of your throat, so you can actually talk some sense into. So we can actually talk some sense into some of you fools. I stand by my statement, and I'm doubling down. I'm tripling down. LBJ is not top 75. To me, he's not even top 100 at his position, whatever the hell that is. He was trying to be Magic Johnson the first time he played center. And they throw at me this ridiculous stat line. Newsflash. Magic played center in the most important game of his career, May 23rd, 1980. Why is that so significant? It was the NBA World Championship Series. It was Game 6 at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and they won. 123 to 107.
And let's add to the fact that not only did Magic play center that game, he was a rookie in doing so.
20 years old. And what did he tell Paul Westhead? Quote, "Never fear, Magic's here." And that is something you bronzexuals will never get over, will never get past. And your king, with that lopsided ass crown up top his head that got dents in it and holes in it, just like he has holes in his game.
Hey.
I think I better repeat that. That lopsided crown up top his head that has dents in it, that has holes in it, just like his game has holes in it, mega-sized holes in it.
A Snowman. LeBron's a three-point shooter now.
Yes, he is.
That's some grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit.
I want to high five you, cool, for that lob.
You're welcome.
From Drexler to Olajuwon, from Jordan to Pippen. All right? From KJ to Barkley, okay?
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
So, why do I continue to say LeBron's not top 75 and LeBron James's game has holes in it? I answer that with a very important question, which is fundamentally sound, that you bronzexuals will never be able to answer. Have you seen him play? Have you watched a full 48 minutes? Have you seen his basketball game erode after that chase down block in 2016?
No, they'll just mention that 17-foot fadeaway jumper that he shot the All-Star game Sunday.
Mm-hmm. You know the best part about that fadeaway shot that won the game? Somebody from Akron won the All-Star game MVP.
Scoring more than twice that he did.
And was born in the same hospital.
Even more to add to the fire. I love that.
And I'll add the final log by saying this. The kid that was born in the same hospital as LeBron took an anomaly. Finish it, Cole.
And he made it into a weapon. In fact, he made it into such a huge weapon that your king, your deity, your priesthood, your boo thing copped it hard off him.
And the best part is the more they booed Steph, the more threes he made.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
loved it.
booed Steph lustily during the pregame introductions.
I loved it.
And
I
Steph
loved
said, okay.
Let's
Matter
go.
of fact, he made one in the fourth quarter where he let it go from nearly half court, turned around and walked away.
Turned around before the ball hit the net.
Before the ball
And
was
bark.
before the ball was at
And
the
wasn't it the one where
apex.
didn't he bark at, was it either Donovan Mitchell or LaMelo Ball? He was barking at somebody after he made the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I love that. I love that.
I
That
mean,
was
They got Steph worked up, and you don't want to get Steph worked up.
No, you don't.
which is why the second half of the year, which begins tonight, the Warriors are going to raise hell. Lots of it.
I would definitely agree with that statement. I think Steph's MVP candidacy is only going to be hurt because Clay's back,
Mhm.
and he's going to want Clay to
And
get involved,
and
and he's
Steph
not going to
doesn't
say
and
like,
Steph doesn't care. He has
no,
a
he doesn't care.
splash. He has a splash brother back. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he rather win a
care.
championship than MVP. He don't care.
He don't care. He wants a title.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike
I'm glad you went back to him. Now,
unlike Queen James.
you just have to understand something, man. You have to understand something. You see, he is not as good as you think he is. He's not as elite as you think he is. I'm not saying that he isn't an elite athlete. He is.
Mm-hmm.
But you all can simply die with this statement because it's not true. Because he does not have the ability to take lessons talented teams deeper.
Damn.
Mm.
Now I know he has the ability to take you deeper, but that's a horse of a different color.
Yeah. Both
When you say
sides.
that,
Front
when you
end.
say that,
Front and
think
back.
about the message from last time I was on the show when you say that.
You know what? Front end. Yeah. Front and back. Has the ability to take you deeper, front and back. Just get that out of your mouth, will you please? Please. Please.
Oh, man.
Because good Grigamiggets. You're making this too easy. Wait a minute. I seem to forget that's what he said first.
Oh.
I seem to keep forgetting. That's what he said first. And frankly,
It's too hard. It's too hard.
It's too
That's
deep.
what they said.
Yeah.
No. That wasn't it. They said it was too deep.
They said that as well.
Oh, I got it. They said it was too deep, and LeBron said it was too hard. Gotcha. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Just wanted to clarify. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
You got it. You absolutely got it.
Bro, such jokes.
In a world where logic
How
and
can
sense
you
flies completely out
be
the window,
so enthralled with
purple and
one
yellow glasses
man?
are donned. This is a figure
Just a moment.
No.
who encourages
I grew up with
ridiculous,
Jordan. I'm a Jordan guy, but I also like Barkley.
Thank
Also
you.
like Shaq, Kobe.
Yes.
Lord,
You know, I thought Isaiah was dope.
this is
I'm
Yeah.
saying Larry Bird was the truth. Like, it was so many guys. Mike was like my favorite guy, but I didn't feel like, Michael Jordan, yeah,
Right.
yeah, Mike. It was,
Right, man. Right.
I mean,
Oh my
I'm doubling down. You know what? We're gonna get Deets on the line right now and have him join this conversation because I'm having so much fun with Cool McCool on the line with my partner, and I know my partner's got to disappear in a few minutes. So
Yeah.
let me get Deets on the line right now. So y'all are gonna hear a little silence. But Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, let's see, that Michael Jordan guy,
Yes.
James
The mailman?
freaking Worthy,
As long as it won't
Come
Sunday,
on.
the mailman.
Yeah,
Karl
man.
Malone, Moses Malone, okay, Alex English.
Oh my
And while I'm
gosh.
in the process of getting Deets on the line, I have an unfair choice that I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to do it right now.
Unfair choice.
Unfair choice goes this way: Jack Sikma or Tom Chambers.
That is unfair. Now, but I do have a favorite of the two, but it's still unfair. Mine is Jack Sigma, but
Yep.
But that is not a shot at Tom James because that dude
not
had
at
an
all.
all-around game. That was sick.
I mean, the first guy that had a sick all-around game was Jack Sikma, and then they started developing big men from there, and then Tom Chambers showed up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy?
He was probably the first guy that I ever understood what the term stretch four meant.
Yeah,
That would
I
be
like
sick.
Chambers.
That would be Sigma, right? Or is that Chambers?
Actually, Chambers.
Chambers was Sigma was
Chambers
a pivot that
he
did
was pivot.
everything that he did.
Yeah, he was strong on the pivot, and I didn't start seeing him shoot and go away from and hit from three until he was well into his bus career.
Yeah,
but I still remember him as a Sonic, and I remember him just tearing, especially the Rockets. I remember him tearing fives up from 10 feet with that 10 to 15 feet with that pivot jump shot.
As soon as Sigma touched the ball, it was over. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then Tom Chambers should fly to the hoop, paging Mark Jackson. Paging Mark Jackson. Anybody remember that moment from '89?
Yeah.
In Phoenix, Arizona?
Yes, sir.
I mean, a knee into his chest. They turned that into bronze. I got the MSG call on my computer. Okay. I saw it live in 1989. Wasn't supposed to, but I did. Hey, let me be real. I wasn't supposed to, but I saw it. I saw it live. I wasn't supposed to, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let's have some more fun. We got about 20 minutes before I welcome the host of the Con Man podcast, but on the hotline right now for what up, Deets?
Hey, what's going on, Snowman?
Okay, you said you were doubling down. What you doubling down on? Place your bets. Place your bets. Let's hear it.
I'm doubling down on Cole stole my point about LeBron James that none of these Brown sexuals can ever they can't describe it. Tell me a team that LeBron James has beaten that he wasn't on the better team. Maybe Detroit when he was a rookie. Maybe Detroit his rookie year, but then guess what? He ran into the San Antonio Spurs
and got mopped.
To me, that's the only example of a team that was better than the squad that he was on, but he still beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about the 2007 Cavs team that beat
the Detroit Pistons. Yep.
That's the only clear-cut example of that. Other than that, man, he always played on teams that were stacked. Always played on teams that were stacked, including the one that he's playing on now.
Mm-hmm. Including the one in 2010 where they predicted the Cavaliers to go all the way, and then the Boston Celtics put a foot in their ass.
Brown Sexuals 5 of 14 in Game 5. I thought he was a big
and he didn't
player.
hit his first field goal until 6 minutes remaining in the third period.
Oh, and I just want to remind everyone that just in case LeBron James doesn't have a good enough year to get the Lakers deep in the playoffs, remember he's got the quote knee injury.
Oh yeah, that he will never be 100% on. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be able to fall back on.
Let me get let me get Dietz's thought on that. Talk.
LeBron James has always. I mean, we talked last. You guys talked last week about that guy who said LeBron makes people money. You want to know who LeBron made money? Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Because Isaiah Thomas wiped the floor with him.
Yep, he sure did.
Yes. It seems to love to pump up LeBron. So only
he made
Jordan.
He made Kendrick Perkins money. Okay, come on. Let's just be totally real. He's made Kendrick Perkins money.
I mean, there's one name that you just have to throw out. All you have to throw it out there, and you can't deny what LeBron James did, and that's Kevin Love.
Yes,
Kevin Love was a great player until he went to Cleveland.
How does
his career has been sunk. And his career has been sunk.
How do you go from a 26-14 career to a 16-9 career overnight?
LBJ, that's how.
That's the common factor.
That is the common denominator. 15 after hour 2, Cole. I know you have to go because you have a meeting. I will.
Yes, sir.
We will do this again tomorrow, my friend. I love you.
No problem. Love you too. Cool. Deeds, love you, brothers.
Hey, thanks,
too,
man.
man.
Have a good one.
No problem.
Okay, gentlemen, let's continue to double and triple down on this bullshit. Who is he made better? Let's just go there. Who is he made better?
There's not one person. I mean, there's not one person I can imagine that's played with LeBron that became better after they left LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he made Dirt better in the 2010, 2011 finals.
Mm-hmm. He made Jason Terry better because Jason Terry outplayed his ass.
You mean JJ Barea, the Braun killer?
Yep. JJ Barea and Jason Terry. JJ Barea tore LeBron up. Dirk Nowitzki just ate the carcass. Come on.
So you're referring to teammates? I can't think of one.
That's exactly. You know who people will say that he made better, and I've had Braun sexuals say this to me. Chris Bosh. And my question is simply, how?
Chris Bosh was already a top 10 player when he got to LeBron.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Hold on a minute. Before you go any further, you mean to tell me there are people who genuinely believe a 3-point shooting, passing, never getting in the paint because it needs to be open for Braun and Wade is a better version of Chris Bosh than the one that was dominating in Toronto? There was a consistent MVP candidate. Do they know any history of basketball? Or do they think Chris Bosh got drafted to Miami when LeBron came?
See, you just said the key word, Cool. History. And Dietz has heard me say this for the 5.5 years he and I have been on the air together. They don't do their research. They don't know their history. They don't know their history. What is wrong with this? I just laugh. And speaking of doubling down, I'm going to allow Chris to double down on a statement that he and I said concerning NBA players when both of us said and agreed that John Morant would be miles better than Zion Williamson. Are we not in agreement, sir?
I'm the leader of the Ja fan club, man. I was on him in the January before that draft. I said this kid should be #1 draft pick, and everybody said.
Everybody told us we were crazy.
Zion. Look what Ja is doing. Zion can't even get on the court.
Zion can't even get healthy. He can't even get healthy.
John Morant has the skills to absolutely. He makes people look foolish.
And look where Memphis is now, and look where New Orleans is now. I mean, Screaming A. Smith said, we're talking about a quote, we're talking about a box office dude, close quote, when he referred to Zion. The box office dude is the dude that's A, on the floor, and B, has his team within a whisker of the top two seed in the conference. That's John Morant. And then some.
Yeah, so me and my co-host, we said on our show for that draft, Zion was going to go #1 because of the hype from Duke, hype from high school.
Yep.
I actually worked with someone at the time who knew John Morant and talked about how, John Morant growing up, he was never the best kid until the end. He was always the kid that was, he wasn't bad, but, there was always somebody else that they hyped more as he was coming up. So he stayed hungry. He stayed climbing. Then when he got like 11th grade in high school, then people started acknowledging him as like, the best. You get to college, he went to Murray State. Didn't go to a big school, went to Murray State.
Yeah.
Balled out.
And led that team.
You had this trajectory for this individual, right? You didn't have, you're 8 years old and everything's handed to you. You had a trajectory. You had to fight to be the best. You weren't just made the best. So when you have that adversity, you have a perpetual chip on your shoulder, and you have something called drive.
Yes.
And I said, after finding out the information and looking into John Morant, that John Morant was the better pick, but New Orleans was not going to not pick Zion
Williamson.
And I also talked about weight issues.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
And injury issues.
Oh, man.
And I said, what could derail him
is exactly what's derailing him now.
And he can't stay healthy. He couldn't stay healthy for a college season.
Mm-hmm. He couldn't stay healthy for a full season. Dietz, what did I talk about on this program when it came to Zion? Zion was going to have problems, and the game that I mentioned is when he blew out of his shoe against North Carolina.
And I was watching that game chuckling.
I laughed my ass off. Forget chuckling. I laughed my ass off. I said, where is your hero now? And he didn't bring Duke anywhere near a national championship. Hey, Dietz, remember that conversation we had about Zion after he blew out of his shoe?
I remember I was live on the air when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting callers and getting people texting me, oh, this guy, look what he just did. He blew out his shoe and he still played. And I said, no, he didn't.
No, he
blew
didn't.
Out his shoe and done.
He blew out his shoe, and that was his career, college and pro. I'm sorry, that was his career. That was his career, college and pro. He blew out his shoe, and that was that. That was that.
And you just said it. He's known more for blowing his shoe out than anything he did in college.
Yep. I mean, everybody wants to call him a freak of nature. When I saw him in high school, I paid no attention after I saw 1 minute of him playing, because the player that came to mind for me when I saw Zion Williamson play for the first time, when I watched him intently for the first time, does the name Hasheem Thabeet mean anything to you two?
No. You're talking to a guy who lives in Connecticut. So yes.
That's all I need to know. And why do I compare Hasheem Thabeet to Zion Williamson? How much trouble did Hasheem Thabeet have getting up and down the floor? Like just 2 or 3 trips?
Yeah. That's actually, as far as, yeah, he can do a lot when he can play, but again, the best ability is availability. Is availability, yeah.
And
he just doesn't have that ability.
Nope. I mean, nothing will be better for Zion Williamson until he gets the hell out of New Orleans. And for that matter, Dietz, I come to you with this question. Suppose there's someone that does want Zion. Are they going to pay him all that? Are they going to pay him all that money and be strict enough on his diet to get him back on the floor? Talk to me.
I mean, at this point, no. A business decision has to be no.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to pay a guy to lumber down the court. I mean, you're not going to pay a guy for the 5 to 10 good minutes that Zion can give you.
Correct.
He can give you a full game. And just look at, and you talked about the Lakers before. I'll give you another one. He's Dwight Howard.
Yes.
But Dwight Howard right now.
Mm-hmm. He is.
And he's what, 26 years old?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not a good arc.
It's really not.
Not a good trend. But to bring this back to the beginning of the conversation, because we're now talking about Zion Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
Zion is the same as LeBron James. Let me restate that. Zion and LeBron are the same.
Same player.
When they're bigger and faster than everyone else, they're the best players.
Mm-hmm.
They're not making anybody else better. They're not John Morant, who's the smallest guy on the court and has to work to make things happen.
Yeah.
They're not Steph Curry, who has to work to get his open, had to work to, I don't say open shot because Steph doesn't ever get an open shot. He takes them from half court because he does. But you have to work. You have to work at that.
Mm-hmm.
Work at those skills. When you're bigger and better than everyone you've ever played against, your game never develops.
Say that again. Please say that again.
When you are bigger than everyone else, your game never develops because you're just bigger than your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You don't develop the other skills of your game.
Correct.
And Cool said it before. LeBron wants to be a 3-point shooter. He's a 30% 3-point shooter over his career.
And I think Russell Westbrook's worse.
Better.
And I think Russell Westbrook's worse than 30%. He has never. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Chris, but I think your sentence was going to complete with he has never gotten better.
Yeah, he's never gotten any better at any shooting. His free throw shooting has gone down.
His free throw shooting is atrocious, and that's being nice.
It has always been
been good, and it's getting worse.
It's getting worse, and the 74% for his career from the free throw line. That's not a top 75 player to me, because they're going to foul you and make you earn the points in the clutch that you keep saying you can get. And you don't. Period. You don't.
That's almost Hackabron territory.
It is Hackabron territory.
Now, Chris made some very great points. What I wanted to add, because I don't need to touch what you said, because when it's correct, there's no need to go behind it and try to, restate it. But I just wanted to say the difference between LeBron and Zion is LeBron stayed healthy because he worked. He will get in the gym and work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll work out. He'll get the reps done. He'll spend the money to stay in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
That's the main difference between him and Zion. But I do agree. I said even when he was in Duke, similar player. So I definitely agree with that comparison, Chris. 1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing will never, ever change. And I'm up against the break. So thank you to Cool McCain and to Chris Dietz for hopping on this morning. Dietz joins us every Thursday. Catch the Fifth Down Sports Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Soon to be a part of the Arena Sports Net podcast network. Yes, I got a lot of things cooking. And also catch the Play Callers Sports Show every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. I love you. We'll do this again.
Man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Chris Dietz and Cool McCain joining me here. And, I said it and I'll continue to double down. I will continue to triple down. LeBron is not a top 75 player. He's not a top 100 player. Hell, I don't know where I'll put him. I do not know where I will put him. Is he a fabulous athlete? Yes, he is. Is he a great basketball player? No. Is he a good basketball player? Hell to the no. I said that since the day he entered the league. And people want to blame Kevin Durant for ruining the league. Kevin Durant made a grown-ass decision in 2016 to leave Russell Westbrook behind. And for those 3 years that he was in Oakland, California, playing for the Golden State Warriors, we saw the best of Kevin Durant, like we saw the best of LeBron James, if you want to call it that, in Miami. Period. That's my take. What's yours? And now on Con Man podcast. He's back on with me. This is Michael Concesio. There, I got it right. Michael Concesio. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Very good. Matter of fact, I'd like to start it off by saying I'm so happy that you're very healthy because we need Brian Snow doing what you do best. You're one of the best, and I'm happy that you're doing well and you're feeling healthy.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. The mental attitude, and you told me this one day when I was on a drive in North Carolina, the mental attitude is the key part. My wife said the same thing, and when she looked at me and told me that she felt like I was giving up, that turned the light on for me. So I owe you some thanks, my friend.
No problem, my friend.
All right, let's do this. Let's dive into the NBA. The second half begins tonight, and if there was ever a disappointment from a team that was supposed to compete, you got to start with the New York Knicks.
You know, that's a team that's in disarray right now, and as you know, it always starts from the top.
Mm-hmm.
They have some confusion with Rose and Mr. Wesley. They have made some bad moves as far as during the offseason. They ended up picking some castaways from the Celtics and
Right.
Kemba Walker and Fournier, and they spent a whole lot of money. They had a lot of money left in cap room that they could have got somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
but they chose to get those two. Kemba Walker has chronic knee issues, and I think that was a bad move to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you got some, I guess, deep-seated issues with the Knicks personnel as well. They picked up Cam Reddish, and they don't even play
And
him.
they're not even playing them.
So what's your take?
How are you going to sign a young player like Cam Reddish and not play him?
Exactly.
How are you going
I
to draft a fellow like Obi Toppin that can really help your front court and you don't play him?
Maybe it's because Tibbs, he's old school,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I mean, he sat Kemba Walker for what, 9 games in the
Yes.
beginning of the season, and I think that's what he's doing now. That's his mode. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but they were competitive for a part of the season, and then now all of a sudden they've just fallen off the face of the Eastern Conference. And speaking of the Eastern Conference, 2 powers traded problems. I'm talking about the James Harden Ben Simmons trade. Let me get your thoughts on that. Let me get your thoughts on that trade first and foremost.
Okay. Well, it's very intriguing. It seems like both of them players got what they wanted. Simmons wanted out of Philly, and obviously Harden wanted out of the Nets with that crazy situation.
Right.
You know what I think? To be honest with you, Brian, I think that it's a trade that worked out for both teams. If you really want to know, I think the Nets won in the long term because they ended up picking up a big man, which they needed, which was Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up another outside shooter, which is Curry. They just picked up Goran Dragic, another outside shooter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To play along with Kyrie. And I'm sure you heard that the mayor and the governor of New York may uplift that mandate, which would mean that Kyrie will be able to play.
We'll be able to play in New York. We'll be able to play all the games.
Correct. Now, as far as Philly's concerned, I think it's a we got to win now mode because you got Harden, you got Embiid, you got Tobias Harris. I think they got to win now, and I think they're in the now mode. But also the Nets also, Brian, have 2 first-round picks because of the trade.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the key for me. That's the key to that trade. The other key to that trade for me is Ben Simmons finally getting on the floor this year, because had he stayed in Philadelphia, he was not going to play for Philadelphia after all that he went through over the course of the summer. And what I've said on this program, it's his own fault for not being the player Philadelphia wanted him to be.
I have to agree with you on that. I mean, you never want to joke around with mental illness or mental issues.
Never.
A player's mental health and physical well-being come first.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that, those remarks that were made after that playoff run where, he gave away an easy layup and made that pass, and then the comments made by Doc Rivers and Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Also told him. And you know something? When he did come back and was with Philly, when they were trying to work out negotiations. Do you know that him and Embiid never said one word to each other?
Nope. I'm not surprised.
How's that going to work, though? How would that work? You know what I mean? So he had to go.
He absolutely had to go. What's going to frighten me about Philadelphia, and I'm doubling down on what I said on this program before. The moment that James Harden steps on the floor, Embiid's progress is going to be stunted, and it's also going to be halted. That frightens me for Joel Embiid.
You know something? You are absolutely correct. Now, Embiid, as you know, he's definitely pushing for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to affect. Harden's ball dominant, and I don't know how that's going to affect with their offense. And, sometimes when you get a play that comes on a team like that, it takes away from the growth of other players, other young players like Maxey. So I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be very interesting.
Thibault and Maxey are all going. Thibault, Maxey, and Embiid are all going to suffer when James Harden steps on the floor, because with him being so ball dominant, like you said, he's going to want the ball and he's going to take it away from the players that were playing team ball before Harden showed up.
And if you notice, Harden really likes the big man to do the pick and pop, pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And Embiid's not that type of guy.
Right.
And he's going to post up low, or he'll go to the perimeter and take that three-point shot. But if I was to pick and pop, pick and roll, I don't think that's Embiid. But I'm anxious to see how it's going to, what Rivers is going to do to try to handle that situation, because I think that it's going to end up with some future problems.
Yeah, like Rivers losing his job.
That could be it. Yeah, absolutely.
Doc Rivers is coaching. Look, don't get it twisted, Philadelphia. Doc Rivers is coaching for his job. Okay, they made the trade. They made the trade for James Harden. If they don't get out of the second round, he's toast.
You know something, Bonnie? I think you're right. I mean, they went all out.
Mm-hmm. Both teams went all in. The Nets to get Ben Simmons. Who knows when he's going to get on the floor? And what pissed me off about Simmons is when he said the trade was not about mental health, and yet he was screaming mental health problems from after Game 7. If you went through some tough times, and I said this at the close yesterday, I don't like anyone that messes around with mental illness. You're talking to someone who goes through anxiety and depression. The first thing you feel? Alone.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I don't think he was feeling alone. I really don't. I don't think he was feeling alone. Hell, there were rumors that he would be gone to the Lakers. And he ate it all up. I don't hope anything for Ben Simmons, but the moment he steps on the floor and he doesn't produce the way the Nets want him to produce, I'd cut him. I'd cut my losses.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But let me ask you a question, Brian.
Yeah.
Now, he as you are well aware, they play Philly March 10th. Do you think he plays before that? Do you think he plays at Philly on the 10th? Or does he wait until after that game? Because his emotional situation, I guess, that he might have a hard time going to Philly. And matter of fact, Danny Green was saying he doubts that Simmons would even play against Philadelphia on March 10th.
He won't. I guarantee he won't. I guarantee he won't. He's going to be too chicken to walk into the Wells Fargo Spectrum to do something.
And if you were a baller, why would you be scared?
Exactly. You're an opponent. You want to show them what they missed out on. He's not going to do that. He's not going to have that mentality. Oh, you traded me? Okay. Let me show you what you missed out on.
Exactly. That would be the proper attitude. That's what I would have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Warriors gave up on Robert Parrish. All he did was become a Hall of Famer with the Boston Celtics.
Right?
He built his career with the Boston Celtics, grabbed a title with the Bulls because he still had a hook shot. Okay? Yep. Milwaukee traded Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to the Lakers. I don't need to explain that story.
No, you don't.
I don't need to explain that story. The Charlotte Hornets gave up on Kobe Bryant before he even put on the uniform. traded him to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. Do I need to end that sentence?
Imagine that.
Do I need to end that sentence? Everybody else gave up on Stephen Curry when he went through his injury problems, saying he's good, but he can't stay healthy. Unanimous most valuable player. Not even Mike did that.
I know. Absolutely.
Not even MJ did that. Part of the Splash Brothers, one of the most dynamic duos the NBA has ever seen, and the only player to hit 3,000 plus 3-point field goals.
I don't think that will ever be duplicated.
Nope, it won't be. And speaking of the Golden State Warriors, I wish injury on no one, but the Suns are going to have a problem minus Chris Paul. The Warriors are getting healthy because James Wiseman is on his way back. So is Draymond Green. I think the Warriors are really ready. Forget what they did in the early part of the season when they were 21-5 after they lost in Philadelphia. The Warriors are really going to be ready to raise hell. And they want that number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
You know something? Check this out, Brian. The last 10 games, they're 9-2. And you just stated that Green's coming back. Wiseman's coming back. Clay's getting into better condition.
Yep.
They're going to be very scary. That's very scary. Wow.
And they're getting it together. It's like they're gonna put it on cruise control through February and part of March. But then when the middle part of March gets here and they push for that number 1 seed so they can host the Western Conference playoffs, basically, maybe the World Championship Series, they're going to raise hell.
Hey, and they also have a great bench as well.
And they're deep. Phoenix and Golden State are the deepest teams in the NBA.
Absolutely. Now, as far as Phoenix is concerned, I mean, they're on the winning streak. They won 7 games in a row. Unfortunately, Chris Paul, I don't know, man. It seems like he gets hurt at the worst.
At the wrong time.
The only good thing, only bright light is that because he's probably going to miss the regular season, so he'll be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
He should be well rested, and he won't have any lingering injuries, which could be very scary.
I hope not. I want to see how far Phoenix can go if they can repeat their Western Conference championship. And you remember last year, their first Western Conference title, of course, since 1993 when they faced the Bulls in the World Championship Series. Speaking of conference favorites, in the East, they're still claiming Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Miami. And those four teams are good, but the disrespect for the Chicago Bulls is surprising.
I'd have to agree. I mean, the Bulls, they are playing so well. And you know, Brian, what's so good about them? They are very well balanced.
Yes.
I mean, strong is balanced. You got DeMar averaging for about 28 points a game. You got Zach about 24.6 a game. You got a big man, Vucevic, who can pip and pop. He can go out and hit the perimeter. And he's also averaging 11.7 rebounds a game. And you got Kobe White, 14. I mean, they got a balanced attack. And then, remember, they've been playing without Lonzo.
Right.
So when he comes back, I mean, I tell you what, man, these teams are getting a lot better, man. The Bulls are playing a lot better. You got to watch out on the West. You got Memphis playing well. It's going to be – the NBA is great. A lot of it's great. A lot of it is.
There's going to be a lot of fights to the finish line for seeding and for division titles. Of course, it's Phoenix and Golden State competing for the division title in the Pacific Division. And who knows, the Bulls could sneak up on Milwaukee and win that Central Division title. Matter of fact, I say they have it in their sights right now.
I mean, that's a good possibility. I know they're definitely not afraid of them at all.
No.
The Bucks, they have, the thing about the Nets, what they're saying is there is no consistency because they never have a full squad together.
Right.
And how that's going to work out. But with the Bucks, they got everybody back. And then when what's his name comes back, Lopez, that's going to add a little bit more depth as far as, having an extra big man. So that's going to help. And, hey, they've already won. They've been there and done that. So now watch out for the Bucks. And then that guy in the middle, that G-man, he's He's a bad guy, man. He's
Yeah.
a bad guy.
Man, Giannis is one of my favorites to watch. I'm looking at the Central Division. The Bulls are 2.5 clear of Cleveland, 2.5 clear of Milwaukee, and Cleveland and Milwaukee are going to be problems down the stretch in the Eastern Conference. Miami stands 9.5 clear of Charlotte. In the Southeast Division, like I said, it's Phoenix and Golden State battling for the Pacific Division. You know, this is the time where you need to tune in when everybody's jockeying for position in the division and in the conference. But I'm going to go ahead and call my first division title, my first division titleist right now. I think the Central Division will belong to the Chicago Bulls.
Ooh. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you at all. I think you got a great point there.
Yeah, the Bulls are, and I said this at the top of the season, the Bulls are going to be not only a fun team to watch, but they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Young team coming together. Lonzo's finally found a home. Alex Caruso finally found a home. Vucevic, like you said, DeMar DeRozan, who was the steal of the offseason, the absolute steal of the offseason, and yet there's still everyone is still sleeping on the Bulls. They want Miami, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston's making a charge. I understand all those teams, but who's tied for the top spot in the Eastern Conference? That would be the Chicago Bulls.
That is correct. And Brian, you know, another thing which a lot of people haven't brought up. Do you know that the Lakers could have obtained DeMar DeRozan?
Yep, that was the romance at the start of the offseason.
And do you know why they didn't take him?
That was the romance at the start of the offseason that DeRozan was going to join the Lakers.
And do you know why? What was the holdup? You have any idea what the holdup was?
What was the holdup?
DeMar wanted 3 years. They would only give him 2.
Oh.
And now, again, the Lakers got that little issue with the LeBron and management now, because the Lakers also would not give up their 2027 pick. 2027, Brian.
Meanwhile, Bull said, "Come on to the Windy City. We'll sign you for 3 years."
And hey,
they did that in a heartbeat.
That guy, I've been watching him. I'm telling you right now, he has probably the best footwork I've ever seen.
Yes, and the best mid-range game I've seen in a long time.
God. He is so smooth. He doesn't go out of control.
Nope.
Very basic moves. And he's scoring 28 points a game without even taking 1 or 2 3-pointers.
Exactly. He only averages 3 3-point field goal attempts a game.
And he's shooting 51%.
51% from the floor. You know, if the Lakers aren't careful, not only is Portland going to pass them by, but so will San Antonio. San Antonio, and I'm going to have Bill Schoenig from the Spurs on with me next week.
Awesome.
San Antonio is beginning to figure it out. That should frighten the Lakers, because the Lakers are 2.5 clear of Portland and 4.5 clear of San Antonio. But if the Lakers don't get their act together, not only will Portland pass them by, but so will the Spurs.
Now, Brian, I have to ask you a question right now. There's a big thing going on with the fact that LeBron was very upset with the Lakers for not making any moves during the trade deadline. And it's been publicized all over that he wanted Westbrook out. And that did not happen. Now, if you were Mr. Westbrook, whatever you want to call him, what would your take be on that? How you going to go play with this guy if he wants you out?
I wouldn't play. I'd stage a boycott and walk off.
You know, I mean, that's...
I'd stage a boycott and beat it. And like, you don't want to play with me? Okay, I'm out.
But why would LeBron say that publicly?
Because LeBron's LeBron.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Because LeBron is LeBron and he can't help himself. This is pretty simple to me. He can't help himself. Who are we talking about? You're old school like I am. Who are we talking about here?
Correct.
Who are we talking about here? I mean, it's not like every other great player named in the top 75 said, okay, I'm the player, you're the coach. I'll listen to you. Except for 4 years in Miami, and I was saying this on my double down statement before you came on. He's only had structure one time in his career. That was the 4 years in Miami. The other time, he has ruled with an iron fist, and now that iron fist is starting to show a few cracks in it.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, Miami, Pat Riley wasn't taking that mess. You know what I mean? No way.
Pat Riley said, I'm the GM, you're the coach, you're the player, you go listen to Eric Spoelstra. Get out of my office.
Exactly. And that's the way it should be.
Why haven't the Lakers done the same thing? Why didn't Cleveland do the same damn thing? Why didn't Cleveland or the Lakers do the same damn thing? Why is that?
Poor management, obviously.
Yep. If Gordon Gunn were still with it, no, even better. If Wayne Embry were still with us when I'm talking about Cleveland,
now we're talking.
I'm going back old. I'm going back old school. If Wayne Embry were still with us, if Lenny Wilkins was still the coach of the Cavaliers, he'd tell Bron the same damn thing. I'm the coach. You're the player. Beat it.
A lot of people probably don't know who Wayne Embry is, but we know who he is.
We know who he is.
We know
who he is. 450 win seasons under his tenure. Drafted a center who I love dearly by the name of Brad Daugherty. The only problem with Daugherty is that injuries curtailed his career.
Correct. Yeah.
That's it. Correct. I mean, Stephen Curry equals Mark Price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stephen Curry equals Mark Price.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And the fellow I had the pleasure of meeting in Chicago. Does the name Larry Nance mean anything to you? Forward with a jump shot. Forward with an accurate jump shot.
Yes. Yeah.
Forward with an accurate jump shot, but also a post game.
Oh yes. Yes, absolutely.
Everything LeBron has been missing in his development for 19 years. We can sit here all day and name. And I made a comment on Facebook. Someone says, obviously you don't watch basketball. I've watched enough and I've called enough games to know that I can name you 10 forwards better than LeBron without even trying. Okay? And when I name some of these forwards, Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, James Worthy, Alex English, Bernard King. Bernard King. Okay? Larry Nance can be in that group. Tom Chambers can be in that group because he played forward and center at the University of Utah. I don't have to mention Scottie Pippen.
Huh?
I don't have to mention Scottie Pippen. I don't have to mention Charles Barkley. And that's just at the forward position. If he ever decided had he decided early in his career, I'm going to learn all the nuances of playing a forward and not try to be the jack of all trades, then yeah, I'll put him in my top 75 list. As far as his fundamentals go, they suck. End of story. And I said all this live today.
I know you did. You don't bite your tongue.
I have no reason to. I've seen better in my 40 plus years of watching and announcing basketball. I've seen better.
And of course, old school, so you got to respect that.
Hey, speaking of forwards, I leave you with this name: the Greyhound, Walter Davis.
Probably one of the smoothest jumpers, mid-range. Great player.
Walter Davis. Y'all want to know old school? Look up the name Walter Davis, a.k.a. the Greyhound, played at University of North Carolina. All right, we got to get out of here. Michael Concesio joining me here this morning, talking old school NBA basketball and getting ready for the second half of the season. Thank you, my brother. I look forward to having you on a whole lot more.
Thank you, Brian. Have a great day. God bless you.
Michael Concesio joining me here as we get ready to close up shop. And I want to thank all of my guests, Cool McCain, Michael Concesio, as well as Chris Dietz. Chris Dietz will join me every Thursday. Do me a favor and take a listen to the Fifth Down Sports Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. on Facebook, and the audio will be carried by Arena Sportsnet. You know, I close with this. A lot of people want to see me fail. A lot of people want to see me in ruins. Hell, a lot of people just want to see me down. What you see with me is what you get. What you see with me is what you get. I am an emotional man. I am a man who's in touch with his feminine side. And as I said yesterday, I've run out of to give. I run out. There are many events that brought on my depression, and there are many events that are bringing me out of it. There are many events that are slowly healing me and bringing me out of it. And I'm happy for every single one of them. But if I can point to an event, that really started to pull me out of a very, very deep depression, and y'all know I love being real on this show. This is my therapy. Being in front of this microphone, talking sports for a couple of hours and being real with you guys, having Cole on with me as well as my wonderful guests, that's my therapy. That is absolutely my therapy. But I will be 110% honest with y'all. If there was ever, and I mean this sincerely, if there was ever a person that pulled me out of a dark pit of depression, if there was ever a person that pulled me out, it's Jody. It's my wife. I mean, I've often said, when I did, and she knows, she tells people all the time, he's either talking sports or he's talking about me, and she knows that. I often repeat a line by Brian McKnight. And that line is, "You came and breathed new heart into this lonely heart of mine. You threw out the lifeline just in the nick of time." And she did. She pulled me out of the ruins. Because I was just about ready to give up. I was ready to say and then walk off the edge of the cliff and not come back. I'll say it again. I was ready to walk off the edge of the cliff and not come back. If it weren't for Jody, I would not be here. And I'm being as real as I can. Were it not for Jody K, my beautiful, beautiful wife, and I mean that, mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul, I mean that. She has nicknamed me her dragon. Well, I had to learn to be that dragon. I had to learn. And I'm still learning. I'm going to always be learning. But if I can honestly say that I'm coming back from the ruins, Jody's the reason. Jody's the biggest reason. She was there for me. As I was getting to know her and she getting to know me, that connection came so quick. And I'm not afraid to share this story. And I'm going to do it without trying not to cry. I don't know why I felt that connection so quickly, but I did. I did, I did, I did, I did, I did, and I do every day. I can't help it. I don't want to help it. How's the old school song go? Now, if there's a cure for this, I don't want it. I'll run from it. And if there's a remedy, I don't need it. I'll just eat it. When I was diagnosed with cancer, she was there with me, doing what she does, researching everything about the kind of cancer that I have, which is pancreatic cancer. She looked at me and said, I feel like you're giving up. And this is before we moved here to Indiana. Man, when she said that to me, a light turned on. I stopped blaming the medicine. I stopped blaming everything that's going on. My attitude was sunk. And I'll admit this on the air. My attitude was sunk. Because I thought, okay, this is it. I finally get the person I want in my life. And I'm going to be taken away from her. And forgive my next sentence, but my wife looked at me after she said, it feels like you're giving up. And then she put she put her hands on my shoulders and said, quit that shit. Which she says often to me when I joke around, but that time she wasn't joking around. And I'm glad. She gets on me about my sleep. She gets on me about my eating habits, to the point where I'm repeating them aloud when she's not here. To the point where I am repeating what I need to do aloud when she's not here. And that is what I need on a daily basis. On a daily basis. I need her and she needs me. So old dragon's sticking around. Oh, by the way, and for all y'all that thought I would just...
Time for that.
Let me say that again.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I woke up. I woke up this morning. I kissed my wife. I thank God for another day. Put my feet on the floor, and the devil said,
"Oh, hell no!"
That's exactly what he said. I'm taking a serious gamble on myself while I'm getting healthy, while I'm getting my together, while I am doing everything I need to do.